Fat Daddy, baby.
What's going on, YouTube? Rich Rising. It's your boy, the Real Fat Danny. Listen, in today's wealth conversation, we're going to talk about breaking your hypnotic rhythm. Listen, I didn't even know what that was growing up, right? Like, even just a few years ago, I didn't know what that was. But it wasn't until around 2021, 2022, when I found out about what a hypnotic rhythm was. And it was actually when I was reading a book from Napoleon Hill. It's called Outwitting the Devil. And basically, what this concept is the fact that people are in a cycle. You ever heard the concept like the rat race or the hamster wheel, right? You're running in place. You're running, but you're not going anywhere. And so you're doing a lot of motion, but you're not getting progress because you're just running in place, right? And that's basically what the hypnotic rhythm is. The hypnotic rhythm is created in your life by your habits. And so what you want to understand is that it all starts with understanding your mind. Like as humans, we're very complex creatures, and your brain is a lot more complex than you might think. That's why there's a whole field of psychology and psychologists and, Nobel Peace Prize winners. And, it's because when you really understand the mind, it allows people to do certain things, from leadership, government, business, sales, teaching, education, right? There's so many reasons why psychology is important. So what you want to understand is that there's two parts to your mind, right? There's your unconscious mind and there's your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, right? Your conscious mind is the mind that's listening to me right now. You're processing the words that I'm saying right now, or maybe you're looking around, maybe you're doing something else on your phone while you're watching this, but that's what your conscious mind is focusing on, whatever you're presently focused on. Your subconscious mind is a gathering, a stored up library of all of your past experiences, your thoughts, your experiences, your emotions, your perceptions, your ideas, the information you've seen, videos, movies, music, so on and so forth, right? And your subconscious mind stores all of that information in your mind as what it is, right? It doesn't have a distinction between true or false. It just has it stored as a memory. Now, on average, the human mind has over 6,000 thoughts per day. Like, you probably never counted how many thoughts you really have throughout the day, but the average human being has over 6,000 thoughts per day. And most of the thoughts that people are creating stem from or are ideas that are not even their own. Think about that. It's crazy, right? But when you really think about it, how many of us spend hours scrolling on social media? Your mind is consuming all of that information. It's not your thoughts or your ideas, but your mind is storing all of that information in the subconscious, right? The movies, the music, the gossip, the whatever the case may be. It's all storing in your subconscious mind. And your thoughts stem from other thoughts, right? It's like thoughts have thought babies. And basically what this means is you want to understand how to program your mind to pay attention to the thoughts that will allow you to prosper in your life. Because if you're focusing on a bunch of stuff all day that have nothing to do with the things that will actually help you grow in life, the things that will actually help you, make more money, have a better, healthier life, have better relationships, right? Actually get to the life that you want to live. If you're thinking a bunch of other thoughts that have nothing to do with that, then you're wasting the most precious and valuable asset, and that's time. We can't get time back. We can make more money. We can, get new friends and grow a new network, but you can't get more time. So what you have to understand is every single day is precious, y'all. Like every single day, we have an opportunity to transform the direction of our life and the experience of our life today, right? So you want to understand you're always thinking about something. The mind is moving at like 1,000 miles per second, right? So make sure that throughout the day, you instill habits in your day that cause you to think. One of my mentors told me most people don't get rich because they don't have time or spend the time to sit down and really think, right? Sit down and really think about the life you want. Sit down and really think about, what your life is going to look like over the next month, over the next 3 months, 6 months, year, 5 years. What does it look like if you keep doing what you're doing right now? What will it look like if you don't do something different? Because one of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Come on, you've heard it before, right? But expecting different results. You can't keep doing the same things over and over again, but say you want to, have a better life. You can't have a bad diet and you want to have 6-pack abs, right? And be healthy, right? You can't, make a lot of money if you're always spending all of your money on things that don't help you make money or don't even matter. There's so many dichotomies, right? At the end of the day, what you have to understand is you need to focus throughout your day and instill habits throughout your day that can allow you to compound your actions day after day that will lead to the result you want. If you want to have 6-pack abs, then you need to be working out every day. If you want to be, have healthier relationships with your family or your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, whatever the case may be, then actually take the time to look up things you can do with your family. Spend more time with them. Ask them what they want to do. Be intentional. There's so many ways we can figure out different things to do in life, but the most important thing is about being intentional. Like the most important thing you can do is just be intentional about, your day, about the life you're living. Because if you're not intentional, then you'll be stuck in this hypnotic rhythm. And here's the thing, your life and your habits, your ideas, your thoughts, they lead you to the life that you're living today. Like all the thoughts you've had in the past, everything, all the decisions you've made, your daily decisions lead you to your destiny, right? Like every single day, all the things that you decide to do lead up to what you have today, who you are today, what you know today, the money you're making today, the health you have today, right? So if you really want to change the direction of where your life is going, you can't view your future in the lens of the past, y'all. I always say don't let your future be presented by your past. Because if you're always looking in the past and expecting your past to be your future, that's why you keep reliving the past every single day. And that's that hypnotic rhythm that we're talking about. Because it's either you create the habits for your life or someone else is going to create the habits for you. You make the decisions that will lead you to the best life for you and your family, or someone else will make those decisions for you. You figure out the rhythm that will be the rhythm that is congruent with the life that you want to live and that will get you to where you want to be in life, or you're going to be congruent with the goals and the decisions of what someone else wants you to make so that they can do what they want to do in their life. Right? So, you know, it's two sides to the coin, y'all. And at the end of the day, most of us have been taught to go to school, get the job, you know, live, live 40%, live off of 40% of working for 40 years for 40 hours a week, and I'm not here to down jobs, but you have to understand there's people getting rich on YouTube. There's people getting, teenagers getting rich online, right? There are businesses who have failed in the brick and mortar space and transitioned to the virtual space, and now they're millionaires, right? Why can't you? Why can't you start a business today? Why can't you start posting online the skills, the services, the way that you can provide value to the marketplace so that people can pay you for your value? so that people can tap into you, subscribe to you, follow you, right? Why not start creating businesses and acquiring assets, cash flowing assets, either acquiring them or creating them, right? So that way you don't have to continue to exchange your time for money forever. Once you have that, now you can multiply your cash flows, you can scale your businesses, you can scale your investments, and do all of those sort of things. But it all starts with you removing the hypnotic rhythm out of your process, out of your daily process. To be successful in anything, even if you have a career and you plan to be at that career for the next 40 years and you love what you do, I respect it, right? But what you have to understand is, even for those of you that, have a job, there are things that you can do for you to increase the value of your life, right? Whether it be make investments so that way the job isn't holding you back from spending more time with your family, or whether it be, having better mindset so that way when you're going home, you're not just giving your family the scraps because you've had a long day at work. Maybe because you need to work on your mindset. Maybe you need to work on your health. Maybe you need to work on whatever the case may be. We all have things we need to work on, right? But I guarantee you that all of us have these moments, and hopefully you don't allow this moment to be your life, where we have a hypnotic rhythm that's causing us to steer our life into a direction that we don't really want to go to. So take hold of your life. Pay attention to the ideas, the thoughts that you have, what you're tapping into, what you're paying attention to every day, right? Whoever has your ear has your future. So if you're listening to different music, like if you're just listening to trash all day, I'm not talking about music. I'm talking about you're just listening to politics all day. You're just listening to gossip all day. You're just listening to TV and movies all day. If you're just listening to all this stuff all day that have nothing to do with the growth of your life, then the direction of your life is not going to steer where you would want it to be. But if you focus on and look, I'm not saying, not to watch movies. I'm not saying not to go out, not to have fun, not to do X, Y, and Z, but we have to separate. Elevation requires separation. So sometimes for a season in your life, you're going to have to separate yourself from all the desires, from all the pleasures, from all the, just doing what you want to do, instant gratification all the time. You're going to have to make some sacrifices, and you're going to have to delay some things because, when I was in college, I started my first business, and there was times where it was like, hey, Danny, you going to Miami for beach week? And it was like, nah, I really wanted to, right? But I'm like, nah, I got to go to this conference because at this conference, I'm going to be learning from some 7, 8, and 9-figure, entrepreneurs that are going to talk about marketing business online. Like, I can't miss that, right? Fast forward to today, it's been 5 years now since I worked at a job. We've made multiple 6 figures and have made, over 7 figures by now. And furthermore, more importantly than my success, we've helped other people grow 5, 6, 7-figure businesses. And now I can travel the world whenever I want. Just a couple months ago, I was in Bahamas. I came back home. Then I went to Atlanta. Then came back home. Then I went to Dallas, right? I also went to Tampa. Actually, before I went to Atlanta, I went to Tampa after I came back from the Bahamas. See, I can travel the world, and I'm very excited for that. And, I don't take that for granted at all, because the reason why I'm able to do that is because I took the time, I made the sacrifices, I put the energy in. I pushed forward even when it felt like it wasn't working. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like it's not working, or you don't think it's working. But if you feel like you have a calling to do something, if you feel like God has told you to do something, if you feel like there's an itching in your soul that you really want to do this thing, and you know that there's someone else on planet Earth that's doing that thing as well, then who's stopping you? The only person that's stopping you is yourself. You can learn, you can get new information and apply it, and consistently over time, there's gonna be ups and downs, right? But I like to say there's not wins and losses, there's wins and lessons. So yeah, you're going to have some wins, and yeah, you're going to have some lessons. But along the way, you're strengthening yourself, you're getting better, and then you can eventually see yourself at the top of the mountain. You can see yourself at the end of the finish line. You can see yourself at the dream life that you actually want to live. But we can't get to that life if we're stuck in the hypnotic rhythm, y'all. So listen, I hope this information has helped you. You know, we're going to be doing way more wealth conversations. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment what you liked about it, and tap in for more. All right. It's your boy. Fat Daddy, baby.